Okay. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So reading from Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 22, verse 51. Mahad kripa vina kona karme bhakti naya Krishna bhakti dure raho samsara nahe shayam. Mahat Kripa, by the mercy of great devotees, Vina, without, by Kona Karma, some other activity, Bhakti Naya, there is not devotional service, Krishna Bhakti, love of Krishna, devotional service to Krishna, Dure Rahu, leaving aside, Samsara, the bondage of material existence, Nahe, there is not Shaya, destruction. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Unless one is favored by a pure devotee, one cannot attain the platform of devotional service. To say nothing of Krishna Bhakti, one cannot even be relieved from the bondage of material existence. It's a very beautiful purport we can listen to. Srila Prabhupada has written. Pious activities bring about material opulence, but one cannot acquire devotional service by any amount of material pious activity. Not by giving charity, opening big hospitals and schools, or working philanthropically. Devotional service can be attained only by the mercy of a pure devotee. Without a pure devotee's mercy, one cannot even escape the bondage of material existence. The word Mahat in this verse means a pure devotee, as Lord Krishna confirms in the Bhagavad Gita 9:13. Mahatmanastu mam partha devim prakritam ashritah bhajanti ananya manaso jnatva bhutadim avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, or under the protection of the divine nature, they are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. One has to associate with such a Mahatma who has accepted Krishna as the supreme source of the entire creation. Without being a Mahatma, one cannot understand Krishna's absolute position. A Mahatma is rare and transcendental, and he is a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Foolish people consider Krishna a human being, and they consider Lord Krishna's pure devotee an ordinary human being also. Whatever one may be, one must take shelter at the lotus feet of a devotee Mahatma and treat him as a most exalted well-wisher of all human society. We should take shelter of such a Mahatma and ask for his costless mercy. Only by his benediction one can be relieved from attachment to the materialistic way of life. When one is thus relieved, he can engage in the Lord's transcendental loving service through the mercy of the Mahatma. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Swanyavadi Pasha Tadeshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, Naveen Prabhu, you can share the screen. So, So, wishing you all a very happy Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance day. A very, very special day, auspicious day. And as we just read in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, how important for us to take shelter of a Mahatma, a great soul who is a pure devotee of Lord Krishna, because they are the well-wishers of this entire human society. Because only by the mercy of such pure, exalted Vaishnavas can anyone be uplifted. And we could see all the acharyas in our line, how they transformed so many people's life and uplifted the society. So we will be seeing today some of the glories of this very great personality, the acharya coming in our line of the Gaudiya, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is our great spiritual grandfather, the spiritual master of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so yes, Prabhu, we can go forward. So, so how, before even we go to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his glories, we need to know what is a little history. So we all know that there are 4 bona fide sampradayas, from which one can actually, understand the Supreme Lord. So we know that it is a Brahma Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, and Kumara Sampradaya, the 4 bona fide Vaishnava Sampradayas. And the Brahma Sampradaya, which is actually, Brahma being the representative, starting this entire Sampradaya from Brahmaji, and Rudra Sampradaya from Lord Shiva, and Shri Sampradaya from Lakshmi ji, and Kumara Sampradaya from the 4 Kumaras. And we see that here it is Brahmaji, starting from Brahmaji, how the parampara goes. We see that Narada Muni receiving that instruction. So like that, going to Madhvacharya, and then we go, the next picture we can see in the next slide, how from Madhvacharya, there are many acharyas coming, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself personally chosen this particular sampradaya to appear. So that brings more glory to the Brahma Madhva Sampradaya, because Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being non-different from the Supreme Lord Krishna himself, appeared in the Sampradaya. And then he personally took the role of a devotee and showed by his own personal example how we can perform devotional service to Krishna. So then after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we see the 6 Goswamis, they took this movement forward. They took the teachings forward of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, headed by Sri Rupa Goswami. And when Sri Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami disappeared from this world, it was Jiva Goswami who was actually, headed this whole movement. And was guiding all the Goswamis and the many great personalities and associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was the nephew of Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. And Jiva Goswami then later trained 3 personalities, to take forward these teachings. And they are called as the trios, who are quite famous in our Gaudiya history. They are Srila Narottama Das Thakur, Srinivasa Acharya, and Shyamananda Pandit. They are not ordinary personalities. They are actually, the eternal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in spiritual world, in Goloka, they are the Sakis and Manjaris serving Srimati Radharani. Narottama Das Thakur's appearance day was just last Wednesday. A very, very great personality, and who was an eternal associate, and also who is eternally serving Radha and Krishna in the spiritual world. And he has written so many wonderful songs in the praise of Radha and Krishna. So these 3 trios, they took it forward. And then after that, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he's a very great acharya in our line, who has given this Guru Ashtaka, the morning we are singing Samsara Dava song, which is given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, which has such a deep meaning. And then Baladev Vidyabhushan. So these are the personalities, very empowered associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who carry forward this glorious parampara. Then after that, there was a great gap. Then what happened was, many apasampradayas, unwanted deviants, they came, and they were claiming that they are, followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but they were misrepresenting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by distorting the truths of the Gaudiya Vaishnavism. And then there are nearly 13 apasampradayas. In that, some of them are Sagajiyas. What they do is that they claim that they are gopis. They are manjaris and gopis, and the men, they will put the dress of a woman, like a gopi skirt and all that, and then they will go in ecstasy, dance, and then they will dance with the other men, and kind of completely deviant philosophy they were bringing, and confusing the entire society. So what happened was, the society became so confused. Some of them became even very fearful. Maybe we should not be following these kind of teachings. So actually they were bringing a bad name, for the entire parampara, and also for the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this was a very, very sad state. Then what happened was, the great personality Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur appeared. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in fact, he's called as the seventh Goswami. Very, very powerful Acharya, very powerful Acharya. And he was, just like we saw Advaita Acharya, he was personally praying to the Lord with the Salagram Shila, Ganges water and Tulsi Manjari. My dear Lord, things are not going the way it has to, and people are completely lost in Kali Yuga. We request you to appear personally, and we all know that Mahaprabhu appeared, right, for the loud call of Sri Advaita Acharya. So similarly, after many years of the when this Apasampradayas all sprang up, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, also in the mood of Advaita Acharya, called out the Lord, that I need help. My dear Lord, at least send me a ray of Vishnu. I know you, even if you cannot descend in this material world, you send your representative, so that an empowered representative who can take up this mission and destroy all these deviant philosophies and establish the right sampradaya, the right mood, so that the people of the future generation can take it forward. So that appears the great personality. Of course, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was also there, but they were waiting for a personality to take the message far and wide, and there appeared this very, very great personality, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswathi Thakur. Yes, Prabhu. So just like prayers of Advaita Acharya brought Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, prayers of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur brought this very great saintly personality, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is sent by the Lord, to destroy all this deviant philosophies. Yes, Prabhu. Okay, so let us see a little description or a short intro about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. The childhood name given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his father, and his mother Bhagavati Devi, was Bimala Prasad. How he got the name Bimala Prasad? In Jagannath, he appeared in the very sacred land of Jagannath Puri in Orissa in the year 1874, in the Krishna Panchami of the Magh month. 6th of February 1874. So Purushottama Kshetra, Shri Kshetra, the Lord Jagannath's abode of Jagannath Puri, he appeared. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because of his prayers, he appeared. And Bimala Devi is actually Parvati, and the consort of Lord Shiva. And Bimala Devi is a great devotee of Vaishnavi, and she's a great devotee of Lord Jagannath. We know this quickly to tell this pastime in short, to give a background. You know, in Jagannath Puri, where the main temple of Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra Maharani are there. And just behind, within the temple premises, we can see Bimala Devi temple. And how did she came there? This pastime where Narada Muni once got the remnants of Lord Vishnu. And when he ate the direct remnants of Lord Vishnu, he went into ecstasy, dancing and singing the name of Lord Hari. And when he was in ecstatically dancing, singing with his veena, when Lord Shiva saw Narada Muni in great ecstasy, he was so curious and he inquired, what is the reason for your great ecstasy? And then he said that I got this Mahaprasad, the remnants of Lord Vishnu by the mercy of Mother Lakshmi. So when Lord Shiva heard it, he said, my dear Narada Muni, did you save anything for me? And then Narada Muni felt very ashamed that he didn't have anything to give, offer to Lord Shiva. Then Lord Shiva could see that the tiny morsel of Mahaprasad sticking to his, fingers. And then immediately he took that morsel and put it on his mouth, and Lord Shiva was in great ecstasy, dancing. And when Mother Parvati saw the ecstatic dancing of Lord Shiva, she went and approached Lord Shiva and said that, why my Lord is doing a great dance. It is like a dance which happens at the end of annihilation, the pralaya. But, it is not that time, it is not that occasion. Why my Lord is dancing? And then Lord Shiva said that I got this, the Maha Prasad of Lord Krishna. And then the Mother Parvati said, I am your better half, do you save some Mahaprasad for me? And Lord Shiva said that, not qualified to get that, just like that, Lord Shiva said like that. And Mother Parvati got very upset, and then she was, she took a vow that I am going to perform penances and austerities to please Lord Vishnu to get that Mahaprasad, not only for me, but for all the conditioned souls in this material world, in the mood of a mother. And then she performed great penance and austerities, and the Lord was pleased. And he said that, in my abode, where, in Jagannath Puri, all the offerings, every day Jagannath eats 56 items, Chappan Bhog. So the Chappana Bhoga will be first offered to me, and it will be immediately, all the offerings will come to you, and you can honor, and then all the devotees, they can honor this prasadam. So in that way, the Lord gave this benediction. That's why if you go to Jagannath Puri, first the offering is given to Lord Jagannath, and that is Jagannath Prasad, and the Jagannath Prasad taken by Bimala Devi is called Mahaprasad. So because Bimala Devi performed this austerities and desired to get this benediction, she got this very special, offerings from Lord Jagannath. So this is very, very, very special pastime. That's why in Jagannath Puri, whatever is offered to Jagannath goes to Bimala Devi. So because this great personality has appeared by the mercy of Lord Jagannath, the mercy of Bimala Devi, so he was named as Bimala Prasad. And then the spiritual master of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswathi Thakur, which we are going to see a little later, the pastime, and is Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj. How, what a beautiful way of connecting to his guru. How the great personalities, Acharya, show by example. Everything what they do is so perfect. They show by example. They don't just talk. Actions speak louder than words. They are Acharya, means one who teaches by his own example, by achar, by their own example. So they walk the talk. So we are going to see that, and how he established the 64 Gaudiya Maths also we will see. And when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur appeared, when very great personalities appeared, we can see, it is already mentioned somewhere, and also the personality as such, they will be having all those special, marks and indications to prove that they are not ordinary personalities and they are Mahapurushas. So when he appeared, the 32 some symptoms of Mahapurusha, the Mahapurusha Lakshana, how one's big ears should be big, the nose should be like sharp, so many different Anga Lakshanas. So all those were present in Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And even when his foot, the lotus foot of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, there were special marks, transcendental symbol, just like Krishna and his incarnations, they have special marks, auspicious marks. The great personalities, the empowered representatives of the Lord, also possess special marks on their lotus feet. So that was there on Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And also when he was appeared as a child, and the umbilical cord was connected like a Brahmin thread around his neck, that also kind of show an indication that he is a great personality. One of the things, the head was big compared to body, like there are many Purusha Lakshanas, so one of that also we could see. So from the birth itself, it was proved that he was a ray of Vishnu, an empowered representative. Yes. And when he was just 6 months old, very small child, when they were in the, in Purushottama Kshetra, in Jagannath Puri, the Jagannath temple, we can even go now and see, it is the same street, the big street. Well, our Jagannath temple is there. We can see the house of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Is there when he was just a 6 months old baby, that when the Jagannath cart came, Jagannath's chariot stopped exactly in front of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house, and it remained there for 3 days. And the king brought the elephants and so many different things they brought to move the chariot of Lord Jagannath, but Lord Jagannath did not move even an inch. And when Bhaktivinoda Thakur saw Lord Jagannath chariot came in front of their house, then immediately the child was brought and put in front of Lord Jagannath, and immediately from Lord Jagannath's beautiful garland from his transcendental body fell on the baby Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, giving all the blessings. So, and then later they did the Annaprashna ceremony where Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur picked up the Srimad Bhagavatam, indicating that he's going to be the great Acharya, the future preacher of this message of Lord Shri Krishna. So all these indications could, proves that the great personality has appeared. Yes, Prabhu. And when he was 10 months old, his mother Bhagavati Devi, he took, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bimala Prasad to Navadip Dham. So he stayed in Navadip Dham for some time, a place called Ranagata, and where he was constantly hearing about the glories of Shri Krishna. Yes. And age of 3, this is a very, very, very nice pastime. It shows the determination of this very great personality. This Vimala Prasad, when he was only 3 years old, his father, he saw some mangoes, which was meant for offering to Krishna. So before it was offered, Vimala Prasad, asked his father, can I take the mangoes? And then his father said, these mangoes must be first offered to Krishna and then you can eat. It is not yet offered. So immediately the child, in that age, he feels that what a rich, sinful person I am for trying to enjoy what belongs to Krishna. I will never take a mango as long as I live. And not only that, he followed that vow all throughout his life. He never touched a mango. He felt himself an offender that, before even offering to the Lord, I desire to enjoy that mango. And he was just a small child. But the self-control, what he had, that vow he took in that young age, he kept it till he left this world. So that's the determination of these great acharyas. They are very careful and cautious of, what they are doing and how, in their service to Krishna. So this is, it shows the determination and the mood of this great acharya. Yes, Prabhu. And just 7 years old. I don't know how many children are here in this Zoom. 7-year-old, just 7-year-old. He memorized all the 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita. Just imagine, for us, I don't know how many, each one of us know how many verses in Bhagavad Gita memorized. And we know how difficult also. Even to remember some 20 verses, 30 verses, so difficult. What to speak about 700 verses at the age of 7? So this is quite easy to understand that they are not just ordinary person, ordinary human beings like us. They are already all as eternal associates of the Supreme Lord. They are descending down to this material world to deliver the fallen conditioned souls. That's all. That's the reason they can do amazing and mind-blowing accomplishments. We can see because they are all eternal associates of the Lord. So just 7 years, he memorized all the 700 verses. Anything he read once, he could distinctly remember. They called Shrutidhara. Shrutidhara means, one time they hear anything, they don't have to hear another time, or they don't have to several times listen to anything. Just one time they hear and they can remember everything. So the living encyclopedia, just at the age of 7. And 8. So 7, he memorized everything. And the age of 8, he started giving discourses, classes on Bhagavad Gita. Very, very deep philosophy at the age of 8. He could speak, and a very powerful memory. So Bhaktisiddhanta, Bimala Prasad's name and fame spread far and wide like a wildfire. Yes. And age 11. Age 11 means such a tender age, right? Not even a teen age. And the age of 11, Bhaktivinoda Thakur took him to all the places where Lord Gaurasundara traveled, all the pastime places. And in the 11 only, he started editing, proofreading various magazines. He's appointed as a part of press called Chaitanya Yantra, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he received the public Sajjana Toshani, a very famous work. So that 11 years, tender age, he started doing proofreading, helping in publishing the magazines and editing it. Just imagine the amount of knowledge what he had at the age of 11. And he also invented a shorthand writing called bicanto. So at the age of 12, we all have now a Vaishnava calendar, right? When we want to see any festival, when is Janmashtami coming, when is Ekadasi coming, we have to refer to the Panchanga or the calendar. So this calendars where, it was an instruction given by his Guru Maharaj, the spiritual master of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, at the age of 12. At the age of 12, he was well versed in astronomy, and he also made the Vaishnava calendar and the Navadvipa Panchika. So the Panchang also he made. And in the school, he was an extraordinary, brilliant student. As I was saying earlier, one time he hears the teacher speaks, he do not have to read again and again like that. And in his class, what he used to do is he will listen one time and then he will start reading something else. So one time the teacher called, you're so inattentive. I could see that you're reading something else. And then he asked a question, and then Bhaktisiddhanta, the Bimala Prasad, could say, the entire class what the teacher spoke. And everyone was stunned. And then, what book he was reading? He was reading the book of Narottama Das Thakur, the beautiful poem written by Narottama Das Thakur, the book's Prarthana. He was always carrying the book Prarthana in his school days. And later, in his college days also, and he was so it was so dear to him, and he used to read this great Acharya's writings. And at the same time, he was so academically, well versed. So he was so much appreciated by his teachers, and he was given the title Siddhanta Saraswati. Saraswati, like Mother Saraswati's Kataksha, that when he opens his mouth, it flows like a Ganga. So he was awarded the title Siddhanta Saraswati for his extraordinary scholarship. in his studies and all the literatures and the books. Yes, Prabhu. At the age of 13, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his father gave him a tulsi bead and instructed him to chant, on a regular basis. And also he gave the Narasimha mantra and the deity worship. He had a Kurma Shaligram and he started the worship at the age of 13. And 16, he began to write on astrology. So he was, Vedic astronomy, astrology. He was very, very well versed, and there was, and he published also a very great book, on the astrology called Surya Siddhanta, which became very, very famous, and many, many other books also. And that time there was one debate club by the name the August Assembly, where many people who were very experts in the field of astrology, astronomy and all other political things and all that, they were in that group. And no one can defeat Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was so expert in the subject matter. And at that time, that whole crew of people who were there in the team, they took a vow that they will never get married. But actually later, almost everyone got married except Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, who kept the vow of remaining a celibate, Naishtika Brahmachari, all throughout his life. Yes. At the age of 16, he also joined the Sanskrit college. Very, very expert in the subject and also in the language. And he became learned and expertise in the 6 branches of Vedic knowledge. Siksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, which is pronunciation, Nirukta, Chandaha, Jyotisha. He became expert in all the 6 fields. And, we all know that, and he started tutoring in Jyotisha. And also Panini grammar, which is quite a famous grammar. People take their whole lifetime to learn this Panini grammar. And our Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur learned this grammar in just 3 months and 3 days. And it surprised and stunned the great Pandits that how he could do it within such a short span of time to get expert in such a complex grammar. So that was at the age of 16. And then, he also, he was given, because of his great scholarly, nature, and then he proved his excellency in various subject matters and various fields of science. Many, many great personalities offered him, many positions, but he did not take up anything. And he was actually, he was very focused, in serving the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So he declined all those very special offers. Yes, Prabhu. And when he was 24, he toured Banaras, Gaya, Prayag with Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he wrote number of spiritual topics in magazine Nivedana, a Calcutta weekly. Actually, we will see how many magazines Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has produced. Amazing, mind-blowing actually. And at the age of 30, he met his spiritual master, which is Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. So Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, this is a very interesting thing to note, is that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, actually externally speaking, in a material perspective, he was an illiterate. He was not even able to write his own name, that was from a material perspective, but he was a very elevated, exalted and very great Mahatma, a very great associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and a pure devotee. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur once said to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, who was Bimala Prasad at the time, that your life is not complete if you have not taken initiation from Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. At the same time, if you see, very interesting is Gaur Kishodas Babaji, material perspective, he was an illiterate in the sense he was not even able to write his own name. At the same time, if you see Bimala Prasad, at the age of 7 only, he learned Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all the Vedic literatures upside down. And his writings are simply amazing. Even his English, if you read the book Brahma Samhita, the Brahma Samhita is prayers by Lord Brahmaji, the very famous, we are singing Govindam Adi Purusham. So this Brahma Samhita prayers by Lord Brahma, this book, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswathi Thakur has actually given commentaries, have given translation and commentary. And the commentaries are so difficult to read. When you read that in English, we need a dictionary to understand each and every word. So very high vocabulary he has used. So such a personality of such scholarship and scholarly and very learned, and at the same time, taking initiation from a personality in a material perspective who do not even know how to write. But he knew that he is a pure devotee of the Lord, and then he was desperate to take shelter from Gaur Kishodas Babaji. But Gaur Kishodas Babaji, being so humble and a very elevated personality, he said that, how can I become your guru? You are so learned, you are so scholarly, and what can I teach you? He was kind of deriding, to give the shelter. But then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was so determined that I want to take initiation only from you. And he several times approached, but every time Babaji Maharaj would decline. And he will say that, I will go and ask Sri Chaitanya, I will pray to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If he says yes, then I will give you. He was always finding some excuse to, say no to Bimala Prasad. But one time, Bimala Prasad went and said that, if you are not giving me initiation, I will give up my life jumping into Ganga. And seeing his determination, because the mood of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati very much reflects Narottama Das Thakur's mood, because he was always reading this Prarthana book. You see that the mood of this great person, Acharyas, are in line always. And Narottama Das Thakur also, he wanted initiation from his guru Lokanath Goswami. And Lokanath Goswami, being so humble, he said, I cannot give you initiation. And several times he also rejected him. But Narottama Das Thakur, being so very elevated, and in fact, he was born in a very aristocratic family. Yet, he was so humble so many times, and he was going and doing menial service, cleaning his stool and urine, so humbly serving Lokanath Goswami. And finally, he conquered his heart, and he got initiation from Lokanath Goswami. Similarly, we could see Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, even though several times he was rejected, he never showed that, oh, I'm, such a great personality, how can I be rejected? Never had that pride, but always, thinking himself so humble that, I am so, if I am not taking initiation from you, my life is wasted. And seeing his very genuine mood, sincere mood, Babaji Maharaj was completely moved, and he gave initiation to Bimala Prasad. And the initiated name of Bimala Prasad was Shri Vasha Banavi Devi Daitya Das. This name will appear in the Pranam Mantra, which we are going to see later. Shri Vasha Banavi Devi Daitya Das. And so this was a very beautiful, lesson for us to learn how these great acharyas, by their own example, showed us how important it is for us to accept a bona fide guru in our own life. Krishna himself accepted guru, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted guru, Lord Ramachandra accepted a guru, and all these great personalities, they are liberated souls, they don't need anybody. But they also accepted a bona fide spiritual master. And how they accepted, the mood was so humble, so sincere, and doing all menial service, thinking oneself so, lower than a blade of grass. Such was their mood, to accept the initiation. So even when in our own lives, we also have to pray to the Lord and to all these great personalities, that I also, my dear Lord and my, great acharyas, spiritual grandfathers, please bless us that, we can also get a bona fide guru in our life. And not just not just getting it like a fashion, but how to serve them and please them, which we will see in the life of these great acharyas, being very grateful to them and to serve their instructions as life and soul. That's what they have showed by their own example. Okay, Prabhu, we'll move. So at 31, after initiation in the age of 30, and in 31, in 1901, he took a vow of chanting 1 billion time of Hare Krishna mantra. And what a vow it is. It is a vow made by Haridas Thakur Namacharya, chanting daily 3 lakh names, following the footsteps of Haridas Thakur. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswathi Thakur made a great vow of chanting 3 lakh names per day. So if we go to Navadip Dham now, in Mayapur, we can see the place where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur stayed. Now it is a big temple. Those days it was a very simple grass hut. He was staying there, and only one time he will eat. And and it was a simple grass hut. Sometimes when the rain comes, it will be leaking, and he will hold an umbrella and he will chant. That was the austerity he took to chant 3 lakh names per day. And he did it for nearly 9 years. He was staying there, and because of its great austerity and devotion, the Vrindavan Dham manifested in Navadip. So if you go to that place, you can see Shama Kund, Radha Kund, Giri Govardhan, all the pastime places of Lord Krishna manifested in front of his eyes. So these are amazing personalities and acharyas. And after that only he went and started the entire movement, the instruction of Bhaktivinoda Thakur of preaching. So before preaching, the acharyas also show that how important is holy name. Unless we chant, what are we going to preach? They are showing by they are liberated souls, empowered souls. They don't have to do all this austerities. They can just open their mouth and say a word, and purity is the force, and it can just penetrate anyone's heart. But yet they did their homeworks, in the sense they showed how important for us also, to take shelter of holy name. Srila Prabhupada also, our spiritual grandfather, he also chanted and prayed and cried, in Radha Damodar temple before starting this, amazing mission, far and wide. So before going to West, he also prayed and cried and chanted holy names. So that was the mood of all the acharyas. So now currently we also want to share the message of Lord Chaitanya. We also want to share the Bhagavad Gita, the message of Bhagavad Gita to many people. Maybe it could be our relatives, to our well-wishers, to our friends, to anybody for that matter. So it is so important for us to first personally taste the holy name, take shelter of holy name, be very sincere in our chanting rounds, to go deep in our own practice, and then only we will be, the Lord will bless us to become an instrument, to give that holy name to others. So it is so important for us to first practice very sincerely. Then our preaching will have an impact. So we can see here, and also, so he was following those austerities, and during Chaturmasya, the rainy season, 4 months, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur will follow such a strict vows, during the time, studying scriptures, lying on the ground, just eating, just once a day, so much of self-control, and and all this for delivering the fallen conditioned souls. He took all this austerity. They don't have to take all these austerities, but they took it not just for themselves, they took it for the benefit of the entire human society. Paradukka Dukhi, seeing the very fallen condition of the society, they want to elevate everyone. That's why they performed all austerities and penances. And at 37, when he was 37, 1911, almost Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was in his during his final pastimes. So that time there was a big debate happening. Who is a Brahmana, who is a Vaishnava, all those kind of, and many people, they started claiming that only person who is born in a higher class family can be called, as a Brahmana, or he only is eligible to do certain things. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur quoted from various scriptures, and then he, established that it is not necessary that one has to be born in a high class family to be called as a, Brahmana or a Vaishnava, but rather it is his qualification. Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, Guna Karma Vibhagasha. The society is divided as, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And these divisions have brought not by one's birth, but by his guna, his qualities, and karma, his activities. So Krishna also has mentioned that in the Bhagavad Gita, and various scriptures also clearly indicates that it is not that just one is born in a family, then immediately, just like Prabhupada gives an example, someone is born, a doctor, born in a doctor family, just because he's born in a family of doctors, he cannot become a doctor. He has to acquire the qualification. Similarly, just because just one is born in a higher class family, he cannot be just called as a, Vaishnava or Brahmana, but rather he should possess, he should earn the title by his qualification, by his qualities, by his devotion to the Lord. So that he established, and when he did that, all the people who were actually were very strongly debating against that, even they all got convinced, and everyone, thousands of people ran towards Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and offered prayers and obeisances, and everyone was like, what a great personality. They were spellbound by the by his scholarly presentation and his devotional presentation, and they all surrendered. And it was so much of commotion that police has to come, to put the, the whole thing in, position. And what they did was actually they washed the lotus feet of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and that holy water was, sacred water was given to all the people who gathered there. And everyone could understand that he's just not an ordinary personality. Everyone was completely astonished and stunned, and they were completely convinced and surrendered to the teachings of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. So such a revolutionary and a powerful guru he was, that he could convince everybody, and not just by his own words. He quoted from all the scriptures and established the words of Sri Krishna, that one is called a Brahmana or a Vaishnava not by his birth, but by his qualities and by his devotional service. So that was a very, very amazing pastime which happened. And at the age when he was 43, his guru Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj left this material world, and the final rites were done by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Actually, there was a lot of issues that many people claimed that we will do, because the Babaji Maharaj, he expressed a desire that his body has to be, he wanted his body to be dragged in the dust of Navadip. So some people took the words exactly, and they said that we have to drag his body. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said we have to understand the mood of the Acharya, not take the word, out of context. And who will do, a glorious saintly personality's body? Will anyone will drag like that? That is not the right way. That's not the way of giving respect to an Acharya. So he, established the truth, and then, he made the samadhi personally, and many claimed that only I will do. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur asked a question. So who is here who is following this brahmacharya strictly? And then when he raised this question, everyone was, no one could actually come forward and say that they were completely celibate. And then finally, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur personally did the samadhi for Gaur Kishodas Babaji Navadip. Yes. So then 43, when he was 43, he took sannyas, the Trident sannyas, the Vaishnava sannyas, And it was in the year 1918, March 7, at the very same day, he established a very beautiful deity. If we can, even now, when we go to Navadip Dham, in the temple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, where his samadhi is there, we can see this beautiful deities of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, called by name Gandharvika Giridhari. Shri Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari. We will see this temple later at the end of our session, a short video. We can virtual trip to this beautiful temple, Samadhi and Bhajan Kutter of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Yes, Prabhu. In 1929, he met a professor of Ohio State of University, and he was discussing. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur not only met people of various field, professors, scholars, many kings, political leaders. He was spreading Krishna consciousness in all possible ways. So this particular professor also, he was discussing various aspects of Vaishnava Dharma and also the philosophy. So that happened in 1929. And Yukta Vairagya, the Acharyas are this is a very important point for us to understand also, because generally if you see the traditional way, when anyone becomes a guru or a sannyasi, they generally talk about renunciation, that detachment. Yes, that is important, but we should know what is the right kind of detachment. There is a Falgu Vairagya, Markat Vairagya, and Yukta Vairagya, two different kinds of Vairagya. Falgu or Yukta Vairam, Markat Vairagya. Markat means it's a monkey renunciation. Monkey looks very renounced, but actually very attached. So much attached to sense gratification. Doesn't wear any dress, jumps from one tree to another tree, but actually enjoys sense gratification. That is a false renunciation. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was a revolutionary guru, and he was against this kind of false renunciation. Just putting a cloth of a sannyas dress, like a saffron dress, but internally, always focusing on sense gratification and doing all nonsense things. So he was so much against such kind of renunciation. And he was very much emphasizing on Yukta Vairagya. What is Yukta Vairagya? Even using material things in the service of the Lord, then it becomes Yukta, proper renunciation. Proper renunciation means using everything in the creation in the service of the Supreme Lord, because he has created everything and it should be used in his service. Why to renounce? Because we don't possess that. So he used, even those days, all the modern equipments, even the car. Those days, sannyasis don't go in car, but Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he used car because you can go to different places and preach Krishna consciousness. So he brought, he established how important. Rupa Goswami also mentions how important Yukta Vairagya. Our scriptures also says that don't follow the false renunciation. False renunciation is just externally looking too renounced, too austere, but internally doing all things which is opposite to being renounced or being detached. But whereas Yukta Vairagya is that use everything in the service of Lord, and internally you're fully focused. You don't have any hypocrisy, no deviation, fully focused in serving the Lord. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was advocating such kind of renunciation, and he lived by that example. Yes, Prabhu. So in 1931, he opened a school. It is an English school, English medium school, by the name Bhakti Vinod Thakur Institute. It is now there. When we go to Mayapur, you can see that building. So he also, wrote Gaudiya Bhashya commentary on Chaitanya Bhagavata. Chaitanya Bhagavat is also the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So many things, and he was widely preaching far and wide, giving lectures on different philosophies, so that all happened in the year 1931. Yes. And 31st December 1936, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur left this material world to go back to the, to join the eternal service of Shri Radha and Krishna. And his Pushpa Samadhi is located at Radha Kund. So actual Samadhi is in Navadip Dham, and Pushpa Samadhi is in Radha Kund, Vrindavan, basically. Radha Kund and Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan, we can see that. Also, before going further, I just want to say one more pastime also. There was one, many pastimes are there, but I'll just to say one of the pastimes. So when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, one very great political person, he came. His name is Madan Mohan Malaviya, many of you may know. And he came and he was having some questions. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was busy that time. So he said that, you can go and help the pujaris in cleaning some of the, pots. Then you come back to me and then I can answer. So being a very great political person, he was a bit hesitant, but then because Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati has told, so he went. And then he was assisting in washing all the, utensils and other things, assisting the pujaris. So then later when he came out, and then when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur asked him, okay, you had a lot of questions. So, okay, what are the questions? And then the Madan Mohan Malaviya ji, he said that, all my questions are answered just by serving, and assisting these pujaris in the menial service. So how important is the devotional service? So he was not just, kind of making people scholars, but he emphasized how important is devotional service to Krishna, because by performing devotional service to Krishna, Krishna instructs knowledge from within. Dadami buddhi yogam tam, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was establishing the importance of performing devotional service. By doing devotional service, one's heart will get purified, and the transcendental knowledge will manifest in the heart by the mercy of Krishna. Yeah, okay, this was one of the pastimes I remembered. Okay, then he was a lion guru. He was called as a lion guru by everyone because he was very fearless. Simha Guru, very fearless. He was not worried what others will say, what will be the opinion of someone. Okay, someone may criticize me. He was not bothered about all that. He was so particular to see that the deviant philosophies has to be removed, because that was the prayer of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, right? In the very beginning, we saw he was always praying the Sapa Sampradayas who are in the name, as following the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction were misrepresented. So that is the reason he prayed for the ray of Vishnu to appear. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was so fearless in destroying all these deviant philosophies, and he never bothered what people would comment on that. And he established the true Vaishnava Dharma as given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's why, everyone was very lovingly calling him Lion Guru or Simha Guru for his fearless preaching. Yes. And his accomplishments, as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati always, kind of emphasized about Brihat Mridanga. Mridanga, we all know, Mridanga makes sound, right? When we are in a place, when we, play Mridanga, you can hear the vibration within that room. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, we need a bigger Mridanga. What is a bigger Mridanga or the bigger drum? Which is a printing press. When we write articles, books and magazines and newspapers, it can reach out to people far and wide. So he was always emphasizing. That's why, later he gave that instruction to Srila Prabhupada also. So personally, he established 3 printing press, Brihat Mridangas, in Madras, Kolkata, and Krishnanagar, those days. And then he will pump out books, magazines, and newspapers to spread the message of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And someone asked him, why he printed a daily spiritual newspaper. It was a daily newspaper entitled, what was the name of the newspaper which we was releasing? That was called Nadia Prakash. And Saraswati Thakur was replying, if an insignificant city can produce 5 daily newspapers, he's talking about the our normal material newspapers. If an insignificant city can produce 5 daily newspapers, then why can't we publish a newspaper every second about the eternal, ever-fresh, transcendental activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his unlimited spiritual planet Goloka Vrindavana? What a statement. If the materialistic people can release newspaper every day, why can't we release a newspaper for about the spiritual matters? Because we have so much, because Krishna's glories are unlimited pastimes, unlimited subject matters. So why not? That was his answer. And he published many authorized shastras, Bhagavad Gita. He has written commentary, Bhagavad Gita, for Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Mangal, Prema Bhakti Chandrika, and his very favorite book is Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Very favorite book is Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Srila Prabhupada also, when the devotees asked him, what is your favorite Bengali sweet? Srila Prabhupada, what is my favorite Bengali sweet? Everyone started thinking Sandesh, Rasagulla, this and all that. And Srila Prabhupada said, my favorite Bengali sweet is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Chaitanya Charitamrita is so dear to all our acharyas. So that's why I thought today at least one verse at least today we should read for the pleasure of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswathi Thakur. Okay, so we move to the next. Okay, so many publications. What are they? Sajjana Toshini, a fortnightly Bengali publication. The Harmonist, an English fortnightly. Gaudiya, a Bengali weekly. Bhagavata, a Hindi fortnightly. Nadia Prakash, a Bengali daily newspaper. Kirtana, an Assamese monthly. Paramarthi in Oriya. So all this were released by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Initiation into spiritual life, all the books also. The removal of anarthas, Shri Guru Tattva and the secret of Diksha, Ekalaiva and Arjuna, Shri Radhashami, Tridandi, the treasure of Bhakti, the Vedanta, assuming responsibility of being Guru. All these are, by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And also I want to show one book, Vaishnava K, very beautiful book. This book name is called What Kind of Vaishnava K? What kind of Vaishnava are you? I humbly request all the devotees who are in today's call, if you do not have a copy of this book, please order this book online and get this book. This is a book for all kinds of devotees, whether we are just a new devotee or we have been practicing. Especially if we are practicing for a long time, we should certainly possess this book, because this book helps us to keep our mood more sober. It questions, a lot of questioning. He's not just giving advice. He's giving a thought-provoking questions. What kind of a Vaishnava are you? Are you looking for name, fame, glory, and all that? Actually, it is something for us to introspect. So much of dirt in our heart. How can we remove it? So very beautifully, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is bringing all those anarthas in front of our eyes. When we read this book, it actually helps us, to find our anarthas, to work on those anarthas, so that we can go forward in our devotional life. So please try to get this book and read. It's amazing, actually. And our Srila Prabhupada, he met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in the very first, in a place called Ulta Danga. Today, in that Ulta Danga place, there was a very grand opening of temple in that same place. In between, there was some legal things going on. So there was a lot of confusion where it belongs to, whom it belongs to. But finally, it came in the hands of ISKCON. And then now today, on this very auspicious day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur appearance day, there was a very grand opening. There was a live telecast in Mayapur TV. Many devotees and senior leaders, they spoke, so it's amazing. And our Srila Prabhupada, when he met, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur as a very young Naren, before his initiation, he because his friend was calling him, let's go and meet this very great sadhu who has come. Prabhupada was very hesitant because his father would call a lot of sadhus to homes, and some of them were not very properly following everything. So he had a very different idea about the sadhus. So he said that I don't want to come, but then his friend was so much of insisting, and then finally, Prabhupada followed him to this particular place called Ulta Danga, where he met his spiritual master, where he met first Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. As soon as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur saw him, the instruction he gave was, you are educated young men, why don't you preach Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message throughout the entire world? The moment he heard this, Srila Prabhupada was so convinced that Lord Chaitanya's message is in the safe hands of a great personality. And he was completely, and the Prabhupada says that at that moment itself, mentally, that he accepted him as a spiritual master. So that's the first meeting. And Prabhupada writes, yes, if it is any credit for me, that is what you have written, that I try to give oral reception to the words of my spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. And thus I try to engage my tongue in repeating the same words without any change. Actually, I am the most unworthy servant of his divine grace, because I delayed to execute his order by so many years. But it was better I began late than never. And therefore, he has kindly sent to me so many young hearts to cooperate with me in this great moment. A letter by Srila Prabhupada to Kirtananda, Los Angeles, 1970. So Srila Prabhupada always took that words of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati as his life and soul. We can see, like father, like son. So how is Guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, spiritual father, Prabhupada was exactly following his footsteps, taking his words as his life and soul, growing through all the austerities just to execute the instruction. Because he said that to go to the West and preach the message of Lord Chaitanya, and how much suffering Prabhupada took, to take that instruction. And then Prabhupada said, and many people appreciated him later, that he made 108 temples and 80 volumes of books, and world, he traveled the world 14 times, and so much of glories. And Prabhupada said, the credit actually goes to my spiritual master, because the only credit is that I followed him sincerely, so he always gave credit to his spiritual master, so that was, from Prabhupada. And so Srila Prabhupada took the mood and the mission of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And that's why we are all here today. If Prabhupada has not left Vrindavan and come to UK, US, and all over the world, we won't be having all these beautiful temples. We are now going to Soho Street or Bhaktivedanta Manor, seeing the beautiful deities and performing so many devotion service. My God, how is it possible to do all these things if Srila Prabhupada has not come to West? So we are so grateful to Srila Prabhupada for taking the mission of bringing us this mercy of the entire Acharya Parampara.
Mataji went on mute.
Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Thank you. So we are so grateful to Srila Prabhupada that he brought all the mercy of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to all the Western countries, that today we are going and seeing the beautiful forms of the Lord, Shri Radha Landaneshwara, Radha Gokulananda, and Mini, and all the beautiful deities and devotional service, enjoying wonderful prasadam, association of so many devotees. We are so grateful. Yes, we are just almost there. So please stay at, to see, we are going to recite the pranam mantra, and we are also going to see this is one old footage of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We can see the temple. This is a Guru Gauranga Varsha Gandharvika deities. It's not a volume there. You can actually go and Google and find a lot of old footage, old nice videos are there, which you can watch later. We just wanted to show you. Okay. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur actually giving lecture. The 3 instructions. Do not try to be a hero. Simply try to be a speck in the hands of the spiritual master. Always take shelter of Hari Nam and Hari Katha. Beware of disunity. So these three instructions actually basically mainly Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Actually, I have a book, we can keep speaking for years and years and hours. This is called Bhaktisiddhanta Vaibhava. This book is written by 3 volumes actually. His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. He has written this book, beautiful book, Bhaktisiddhanta Vaibhava, 3 volumes, and covering the childhood, all those wonderful, amazing, accomplishments of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So heart-touching, so inspiring. Anyone would feel inspired. When we read this book, immediately you'll think we have to do something, that's the first thing comes to the mind. And so if anyone can buy the book and you can read for yourself, and we can see the condensed version of the 3 instructions given here is that the first instruction is that, don't try to be a hero. Always Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's point was, don't just try to show off, show bottle spiritualism. He was totally against it. Be a very menial, humble servant, serving the instructions of Guru and Gauranga. Don't look for popularity, name, fame, glory, adoration. That's going to kill our spiritual creeper. So he was very much into it, and he wants us to be in the mood of a servant. All the acharyas again and again emphasizing the point to be a servant. Advaita Acharya, we saw, be a servant. The mood of the Lord. Nityananda Prabhu, again, he emphasized, he himself, as a subordinate Lord, the mood of servitude. So all the acharyas are emphasizing us again and again, because our tendency is to be the masters, always wanting the enjoying spirit. So the first instruction itself is that to be in the mood of servant, the servitude mood, and serve the instructions of Guru and Gauranga. And the second one was how we should be very much attached, taking shelter of Hari Nam and Hari Katha. Always fill our ears with the holy name, our tongue with the holy name, and ears with the holy name, and Hari Katha, hearing the glories of the Lord. So that is something very, very important. And beware of disunity, because Kali Yuga, it is known for quarrel and hypocrisy, right? So that is one of the biggest obstacle in Kali Yuga, known for quarrel and hypocrisy. So what is the only thing we can take shelter of? Krishna's holy name. So we have to cooperate, even though there may be many opinions. We should not take the opinions, different opinions so much. But we should see Krishna, we should put Krishna inside. When we put ourselves in the center, then what happens is that, why my point is not considered? Why I am not valued? Then disunity will come. But if we keep Krishna in the center, we keep the acharyas in the center, then automatically we'll think, okay, I may have a different opinion, that's okay, but this is what Prabhupada wants. This is what our Guru Parampara wants. This is what Krishna wants. This is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants. So I have to cooperate. And Srila Prabhupada also brought this point towards his, his disappearance. Also, he told how much love you have will be shown by how much you cooperate together. So it is so important, because we are all as a community coming together and serving. That could be some disunity, in the sense like a misunderstanding sometimes can come, because wherever there are 2 people in Kali Yuga, Prabhupada says, wherever there are 2 people, there is a chance for quarrel, misunderstanding. But we should not take it so seriously, but we should, forgive and forget. This is a very beautiful thing to forgive and forget the differences, and to cooperate and serve the Lord blissfully and happily. Only when we forgive and forget, we can be blissfully served. Otherwise, it's very difficult. So that's another important instruction given. So, if we want to please Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we want to simplify these instructions to our heart, and, try to follow. Yes, Prabhu. So this is you can see this beautiful temple, Chaitanya Math, where we have the Samadhi of Srila Saraswati Thakur. So we are very fortunate, at least virtually, to see on the auspicious day of his appearance day. So much of gallons of blood Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has given, to establish 64, but single-handedly. There was no preaching, nothing happening. He started with one mutt and established 64 all over, India and also in many other places. A very glorious and unparalleled spiritual master, Acharya in the line. Single-handedly he created it. This is the inside of the temple. You can see that how, inside you can see all the 4 acharyas, Vaishnava acharyas, Ramanujacharya, Nimbarka acharya, they are all Kumaras, the Kumara representatives of Kumara Sampradaya, Nimbarka, Shi Sampradaya, Brahma Sampradaya, everyone is there in the, the acharyas, they are also there. Because he brought all the essence and teachings of all the acharyas. So we can see here, Madhvacharya. So unity, that is what is real unity. Vishnu Swami. Yes, Vishnu Swami. All the 4 Vaishnava acharyas, murtis are here. We can pray to them as well. And this is also, we are virtually circumambulating the temple now. And this is Sri Nimbarka Acharya. And then comes Sri Ramanujacharya. So then it's a temple. You can see here the beautiful deities Gandharvika Giridhari has been established by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswathi, his favorite deities, beautiful Radharani and Krishna. And this is the same place where he did the 1 billion names. We saw earlier the vow of completing 3 lakh names every day. And he completed that 1 billion names. And Radha Kund, Shyama Kund also will come now. We can see here, it's manifested in the eyes of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. You can see that exactly. The very beginning we can see is Samadhi. This is the one which we are now going to see. Which we are going to see is Samadhi in the front. So behind that is Radha Shyama Kund. You can see the Samadhi. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Radha Kund and Shyama Kund. It's manifested. How the acharyas can bring even the holy dhams to appear. That is their power and potency. They don't have to go to the holy dham appears. The Vrindavan dham manifests. This is Gaur Kichor Das Babaji Samadhi. Bhajan Kichor, I think, yeah. So those who have already gone can feel, will be very happy to see these places. Those who have not gone also getting an opportunity to see. It is very rare. Radha Kund, Shyama Kund, see manifested. You can go into water from there. And also Giri Govardhan is also there. Giri Govardhan. Giri Govardhan also manifested in front of him. Very, very wonderful. Some of the pastimes depicted there as exhibits. Pastimes of Advaita, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, appearance of Gauranga Mahaprabhu appeared. All these are there, in that. Actually, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is known for his satirical, making dioramas. He was, very revolutionary, and he brought all these modern things well in advance. Satirical performances and exhibits, dioramas for explaining the pastimes of the Lord. All this he brought in those days. Very amazing. Even now we are struggling, but it was done before. Okay, now finally we are ending this thing by offering our prayers to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. His pranam mantra we will now recite. I hope many of you would have done in the afternoon itself. Generally, it's a half a day fast, and then we offer our Pushpanjali to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, by offering these prayers. If we have not done, still it's not too late. We will do now. First, I will read the English one, and then we will read the verses. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at His lotus feet. I offer my respectful obeisances to Vasha Banavi Devi Daita Dasa, another name of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, who is favored by Srimati Radharani, and who is the ocean of transcendental mercy and the deliverer of the signs of Krishna. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, the personified energy of Sri Chaitanya's mercy, who deliver devotional service which is enriched with conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, coming exactly in the line of revelation of Srila Rupa Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are the personified teachings of Lord Chaitanya. You are the deliverer of the fallen souls. You do not tolerate any statement which is against the teachings of devotional service enunciated by Srila Rupa Goswami. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presaya Bhutale. Maybe we can repeat. Everyone can repeat after that. It will be very nice. Namo Vishnu Padaya
Namo Vishnu Padaya
Krishna Presaya Bhutale
Krishna Presaya
Srimate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati iti namine Vasha Banavi Devi Daitaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Ine Prabhave Namaha Suryojvala Premadhya Upanuga Bhaktida Gaura Karuna Shakti Grahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Murtaye Deenatarine Upanuga Viruddha Siddhanta Antaharine. The main purpose of his appearance is to break, remove this Apasiddhanta, the deviant philosophies. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Avirbhav Maha Mahotsav ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Premanande Hari Hari. We are so fortunate that it, this glorious day, appearance day, has come exactly on the day we do the Chaitanya Charitamrita session. So we could present all this. I mean, the glories are unlimited, just like the glories of the Lord are unlimited. And the glories of the pure devotees are unlimited. How much we can capture in this 1 hour. But we tried whatever we could do. We are very thankful to Naveen Prabhu and Ranjan Nimai Prabhu for putting this together. Amazing service they have done. So much. And how fortunate are we to come in this glorious parampara? What kind of acharyas we have got. And today, the appearance day of the acharyas, appearance and disappearance days are very, very special. They will be more merciful on this day. So today is the best day we can seek blessings. We can first of all be very grateful. How I am like no qualification. How do I end up, coming in this parampara? How do I got this association? So I mean, at least personally, I feel after doing all this PowerPoint, this thing, for the presentation to prepare. And when I was reading this book and I was thinking, my God, we are being given something which totally I don't deserve. Totally don't deserve. That is a mercy we have got. And such wonderful acharyas, mercy we have got, and we have connected to this parampara, and we are given this opportunity to speak and glorify and to perform devotional service, to get all this association of devotees. Oh my God, it is beyond what I can imagine. That's what I really felt. So heart-touching actually, and so inspiring. So it's a day we can offer our gratitude for this personality, great personality, for giving all his mercy, our great grandfather, spiritual grandfather, and also seek his blessings to kindly help us. All the deviant philosophies in our heart, the misconceptions in our heart are removed by his mercy. Like a ray of Vishnu, he can illuminate our hearts with bhakti, pure devotion, and empower us. How all our acharyas, they have taken the words of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and have given out to, all over the world, to all the people all over the world. We can also become some squirrels, in sharing that knowledge to others. So we can pray to them that please kindly, empower us and use us, in your service. Let all of us in the, blissfully in the association take forward this glorious mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu far and wide. So it was such a wonderful day, meditating on this beautiful pastimes, the amazing, achievements, accomplishments, and the glories of Bhaktisiddhanta. I've been hearing today so much, reading, hearing. Oh, amazing, so heart-touching, so inspiring. My whole day was so blissful. So very nice. So I'm very, very thankful to all the Vaishnavas who have come here. One last thing also, before concluding. Once what happened was one devotee was giving a class. And in the class, only 2-3 devotees joined. So they went back and reported to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswathi Thakur. We organized a big program, but only 3 people came and then listened. Immediately, Bhaktisiddhanta said, "Oh, 2-3 people came. That's great." And he said that don't be disappointed at any moment. Even if no one comes and hears, you should be empowered to speak about the words of Lord Chaitanya even to the 4 walls. Because so many great personalities and devatas and demigods, they come and sit to listen about the glories of the Supreme Lord. So don't be disappointed. So many of us are here doing many programs, outreach programs, Bhagavad Gita classes. Sometimes we see that not many people are there in our program, and we may become disappointed. Oh, nobody is in the class. No, don't be disappointed. Let us not be disappointed. Let us be very satisfied that we got the opportunity to share. And Krishna is there to see our sincere mood. At the same time, we keep praying, my dear Lord, please help me. So please send sincere souls. So, and please make me a worthy instrument. So we have to work on ourselves constantly to become a very useful instrument, work on our sadhana. At the same time, not to be disappointed, because our Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has given us this very positive, optimistic, and a very confident, giving us this confidence that don't be disappointed. The Lord is very pleased with your endeavor. and following his footsteps, we should also become fearless, and then, very happily and jubilantly and blissfully, share the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now we have a great opportunity. Chaitanya Charitamrita, whoever has not got this book now, because Gaur Purnima is going to come, Bhaktivedanta Manor Temple has given this wonderful announcement that Chaitanya Charitamrita book is available, and I think it is 75 pounds or something. So we can grab this opportunity to get a copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita, because it is so dear to our Saraswathi Thakur, it is so dear to our Srila Prabhupada and to all our Acharyas, and we all should be learning about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Is so sweet, and we can also then share with everyone. So those who don't have this book, please contact Ashish Prabhu and get the copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita, because this is a very wonderful time. We can get this before Gaur Purnima, and the temple is giving this, offer, and we want to buy. And if anyone doesn't have, you can recommend that also. Yeah. So thank you very much to all the wonderful Vaishnavas today who have gathered here to hear the glories of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and thank you for the opportunity for me to also share a few words, and I'm thanking all the Vaishnavas who assisted in this endeavor. Thank you very much. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ki Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Jai Gaura Premanande. The children are also there. Hari Bol. So wonderful.
Very much,
So
Mataji.
wonderful. Thank you so much. Vivek Prabhu, any announcement? I will
Just
show
I
Lord
got
Jagannath.
one message that Abhishek Prabhu has birthday today. Bandana Mataji.
Whose birthday?
Abhishek Prabhu, Bandana Mataji.
Okay, so before we go to the birthday, we would request all of you to kindly pray for Heman Prabhu's father, who is in Mauritius and is in the hospitalized. So we want to pray for him to recover. So kindly shall all of us 3 times chant Hare Krishna for his father. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much for all your prayers. And whose birthday is it?
Mataji,
Oh,
Abhishek Prabhu.
Abhishek. Okay, Vandana Mataji. So, Vandana Mataji is your.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, so Prabhu's birthday, yeah? Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. So Prabhu is sharing birthday with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance day. Wow, that is so auspicious. And getting the blessings of all the Vaishnavas in this gathering, yeah? That is so wonderful, Prabhu. You are very blessed. So we will all chant 3 times for Prabhu for his a happy, healthy, long, conscious, life ahead. A blissful life ahead. So let's all chant for his spiritual upliftment. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram. This birthday to you, Abhishek Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Rama.
Vandana Mataji, you're happy?
Yes, Mataji. I'm very happy, Mataji. Get to see you and all the Vaishnavas. It's a great opportunity, Mataji. Thank you. Please bless our family, Mataji.
We already blessed. Jagannath is blessing from behind. I could see your backdrop. Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani is blessing you. So wonderful, and all the Vaishnavas are blessing you both and your family. Okay, let's take Jagannath Darshan here also. Yes.
Mataji, you can cut the cake, Mataji.
Oh, cake is also there. Okay, please show the cake. I didn't know that. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna to Abhishek Prabhu. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna bless you, dear. Hare Krishna bless you, dear. Hare Krishna bless you, dear Prabhu. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Happy Krishna conscious birthday again to Abhishek Prabhu. Hari Hari Bol. Very nice.
Haribol Mataji, thank you. Dandavat Pranam Mataji, thank you so much.
Very nice. So you are part of the South End Basil Generation, isn't it? Kavita Mataji's Bhakti Vriksha. Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you very much. Also, we know there is a request. Yes, Shanti Priya Mataji's father-in-law. We can pray for him. He few days. I think it's few days back. He left, but in a very glorious way. Everyone chanting and praying for him, and she herself is a very great Vaishnavi. So prayers for him as well. 3 times we will chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare.
Thank you for all your prayers. So now let's see, Lord Jagannath Prabhu, if you have any announcements, please do carry.
Yes, Mataji. On 26th of February, Saturday, we have Japa Marathon for this month, and that is Vijaya Ekadasi also. So we will have a Zoom session for Japa Marathon as usual, and also we will do we are celebrating the Sri Sri Nitai Nadia Vihari anniversary, Deti's anniversary in Avanti school on this 26th of February. So we will do the chanting and Japa Marathon from the school. We'll try to get more devotees in school, and if anyone wants to come and do the physical chanting, that is also available, and Zoom is always backup available. So Zoom plus physical, both are now we are doing this this month. So please join any of the option, whatever you suits for you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Jagannath Darshan is there.
Yes,
actually, the Mataji, Abhishek Prabhu, the birthday, Mataji Prabhu, Vandana Mataji's husband, Vandana Mataji and her daughter also came and made a wonderful offering to Lord Jagannath. Few months back. So we are thankful for your wonderful offering as well. Yes. Can you see the darshan?
Jai Jagannath.
Jai Jagannath.
Jai Jagannath.
Jai Panchatattva.
Jai
Special all.
Jai Jagannath. I think video has paused. Hare Krishna Mataji, we are not able to see the deities. Maybe some connection issue.
Sorry, my phone, this thing got disconnected. Can you see, Prabhu?
Yes, now we can see. Thank
Yes.
you, Mataji.
I'll just
Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Sudama.
is it clear or
I think it's
We
gone
can't
again,
see.
Mataji.
one second, Prabhu. Is it okay?
No, Mataji.
Cannot see?
No, Mataji. Yeah, now we can see. Yes.
Sorry.
Jai Jai Jagannath, Jai Jai Baladev, Jai Jai Subhadra Maiya. Jai Panchatattva ki Jai. Kripa.
Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev,
Jai Jagannath.
Jai, Jai, Jai.
So it was very nice. For Nityananda Trayodasi, Ujjwala Mataji, Varsha Mataji, Shobha Mataji, they all came. So they also dressed the lordships. So very thankful for their service. And the beautiful outfits of Panchatattva were Kusum Mataji and Mona Mataji, Kusum Mataji, the outfits. And different devotees done different sevas. So it's so wonderful. Always it is only by devotees, coming together and serving the Lord. We can see the Lord is so pleased. So all glories to all the devotees who are serving the Lordships very nicely. Thank you very much. Hari Bol. Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani Sudarshan Chakra ki
Jai.
Jai ki Jai.
Jai.
Deva Avatar Panchatattva ki Jai.
Jai.
Ki Jai.
Jai.
The Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswathi Thakur
Jai.
Avirbhav Maho Maho
Jai.
Jai.
Hare
Thank you.
Ananta
Krishna.
Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai.
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari
Hari Bol.
Thank you everyone.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol Mataji, thank you.
Jai
Jai
Jagannath.
Jagannath.
Jai
Hari Bol,
Baladev.
thank you
Mataji.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare